Good morning, traders. How are we all doing? Hope you're all keeping well. Bit of an interesting one for you today. So, during today's trading session, which is still carrying on, I had some thoughts come up in my head. Why? Because a big majority of my trades hit break even, whilst price continued to keep on pushing in the direction that I'd anticipated. Thoughts popped up in my head saying, should you have gone break even? Why not just add another position on? Why not just do it like this? Why not just do it like that? And if you've had a similar experience in the past, you're not alone. Contrary to what people say a trader should think or feel, these kind of thoughts are completely normal. The only issue is when we make sudden changes to our approach based off of extremely short term results. And it is important to remember that to be a successful trader, you got to ignore all these human survival instincts because the market just doesn't work like that. When we have adverse positions, we feel negative emotions. This is because the brain is perceiving us as losing something, and in survival, that's obviously not good. So you automatically react to these impulses and make changes, thinking that you're doing something positive to help improve your results. And this damages their traders' results, right? Instead of helping them, because this change now has caused you to lose your edge, which was found in the previous strategy. Does that make sense? You created a strategy, you had an edge, you took, a few losses, a few break evens, and start thinking, oh, this could work, this could work, this could work. You make a change, and then boom, the next week you're taking losses again, and all your old trades would have worked, right? So you just got to be consistent, okay? And this is the main reason why traders fail, because they're not being consistent with their approach, and I also don't feel like they're really able to understand when they got to make a change, okay? Because what happens if we continue to be taking losses after recognizing multiple times that we could have avoided? Pardon me. Are we just going to continue trading the exact same way and expect it all, always work? Sure, there's going to be times where bad market conditions happen and your strategy suffers down periods. This is totally normal. But as we all know, markets constantly change. So, how do we adapt to these market conditions when we don't have any prior information about what the market's going to be doing or what change the market's going to have? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to briefly talk about today. And I'm going to show you how you can make these changes without ruining your edge and only improve it. All right, so let's begin. The first thing that you're going to basically want to do is set a time frame on when you're going to be trading. Okay, so set a trading period. Okay, and this is basically going to be so that you can review your trades afterwards. So some people might say, okay, let me do 30 days and then I'll review. 60 days, 90 days, whatever it is. I found that 8 to 12 weeks is a sweet spot. Completely up to you, but 8 to 12 weeks I have found to be sweet spot. Okay, and in this period, you are going to be trading absolutely consistently. And by the way, this works for the guys who have got this works for the guys who have a proven approach and they're just looking to improve it, or the guys who are just trying to find a strategy that works. Okay, if you want to forward test something or you've got a proven approach, this works perfectly well. Okay. So whether you've got an edge or not is up to you right now. But yeah, this guide is going to teach you how to improve it, right? So moving on, as you're going to be trading, you're going to need to be making sure that you're monitoring the charts carefully before you're taking a trade, you're executing correctly, and then you're diligently logging your trades. Okay, so the key point here, right? Oops, daisy. The key point here is that you are going to be logging your trades consistently. Okay, and you're also going to need to be taking trades consistently. Okay, because if you're not taking trades correctly, then you're just invalidating all your results. Like, all this exercise is futile. And if you're also going to, just not listen to what I'm saying and you want to go and change your stuff in between that trading period, then this is completely futile. Okay, so set a trading period, trade that strategy completely correctly for a consistent amount of time, right? And log all your trades. Okay, you want to be logging, right? You want to be logging every bit of information that you possibly can think of, such as the date, time, entry, pattern, screenshots, etc., etc. So just have a bunch of annotations, okay? That told you why you entered the trade, okay? And whilst you're trading, guys, make sure that this is just a general rule in general. When you're trading, make sure that you are checking that you're taking the correct trades. Because if you're not consistently checking yourself, you could be falling prey to taking the wrong trades, and that's going to just be an irritating thing. Nobody likes taking a trade which they think was correct and then looking back and it was a loss and thinking, damn, like that wasn't even in my plan. I thought it was, but my analysis was just a little bit off. Okay, so make sure that you're taking the correct trades and you're logging your trades. All right. Okay, so the next step is whilst you're trading, okay, you are going to have things that just come up in your head. Okay, you will have questions arising about the strategy. Okay, you will have questions arising about the strategy, right? And it's really important that, I think I explained it before, but this is completely normal, okay? It's completely normal, and it's just your brain telling you something. Make sure you don't change anything right now, okay? You could notice something a few times, but just log it. Okay, whatever you're feeling about the market that you've seen is specifically going to come from where you could have made money or avoided a loss. Okay, it's literally, I promise you this, when you're trading, all these questions will come up. It's only going to relate to those two. No one's going to say, oh, I wish I could go break even more, because essentially that comes down to taking less losses. Does that make sense? So these are all things that might need changing. Okay? These are things that might, keyword, might need changing, because you don't know right now. You don't know if you need to make a change, okay? So you'll just put this all down, put all these questions into a document or a piece of paper, basically somewhere where you can access it and add to it. Okay? And remember, you're not changing anything. You're just writing things down. So what could this look like? Okay. I have noticed that the 50-minute structure always respects its trend, right? So should I wait now for a clean break on the 50-minute before entering a position? Because I've noticed that's happened quite a few times and I could have made money there, right? Another could be, I have noticed that price has not given a damn about higher time frame structure recently. Is it more beneficial if I just stick to a lower time frame, or am I clearly defining my higher time frame key levels? Do I need to look at when to respect key levels or when to notice that price isn't respecting a key level? Okay, just a few things to think about. And as a quick note, like I said, it's imperative that you make no changes or act on these impulses until the time frame that you set to gather trading data is over. Right. Next point. Okay. The third step is, once your period is over, you're going to now spend a period of time not trading. Okay, perfect time for this is over the weekend. Going over your charts, going over your trades, and finding answers to those questions. Okay, this is where the trade review starts, and this is why it's so important to have all that data, to be logging the correct, taking the correct trades and then logging the trades, because as you can see, this has a massive ripple effect. If you're taking the wrong trades and you're not realizing you're taking the wrong trades, but you're logging the trades, you think they're correct, it comes to the trade review, you start seeing stuff and thinking, fuck, like, damn, I wasn't doing that. Or worse yet, you still don't realize that you're doing something wrong. You genuinely think you're doing something correct, and you're making changes for no reason because you don't even know if what you traded has worked or not. And also, similarly, it's also terrible if you haven't annotated your logs correctly, or worse still, you haven't even logged anything or just done a lackluster attempt at logging some trades. Because how the hell now are you going to be able to go through your stuff? It's extremely annoying and time consuming and frustrating and just laborious to have to go over all the charts and plot all these trades. Why don't you just do it when you have the chance? Just do it instantly. Have the discipline, just go and do it. It's for your benefit at the end of the day, right? It's not going to hurt you. It's only going to benefit you, okay? So in this trade review, you are simply going to be taking your logs, going to go look at the charts, and now you're going to put these things to the test, okay? Now, this is the really key and juicy piece of advice. When you are working hard, sieving through the charts to see how you could have improved, always look for something to implement that would not change the way you are trading. Okay? It cannot be a massive change because all of these changes have to be minor tweaks because you don't want to ruin the edge. For example, you can't say, I have a proven approach using the 4-hour structure and 50-minute for entries, but now I can see price works better if I just trade the 1 minute. That is a completely different thing. That is not adapting to different market conditions and improving a strategy over time. This is simply having another strategy, which is totally fine. Nothing wrong with it. Okay, but that's just strategy hopping. Okay? So it's fine if you want to have another strategy, which is just, got nothing to do with improving your results, right? You just want to have what it kind of is, right? But it's not to do with changing what you already have. You want to build on what you have because what you have is sufficient, but you want to adapt and improve. And that's how you constantly adapt to market conditions, by continuous reviews and continuous improvements of what is working in recent time. Okay? That's why you got to get the data and then review afterwards and consistently do this. Okay? So, certain tweaks without changing the way you trade would look something like this. Okay, I can see that I've defined my key levels as going right up to the bodies of the candle. So let me show you something, okay? So let's say this is how you define a key level, like this, okay? You go right up to the body of the candle, but you can say, you've seen, for example, that if you just extend it a little bit, prices seem to tap in and move, okay? So you're going to say to yourself, well, do you know what? I'm going to now test and see that this has worked. And actually, after going through all my data, this has worked and it has provided me with better results. So I'm going to go ahead and make this minor change. I went from adjusting my key level from here to here, okay, as a minor tweak. You're not now changing the whole way you trade. You are simply just making a minor tweak that has been shown through your data collection and your reviews and your analysis that it has improved. Okay, and another piece of advice is you want to basically make implements to your strategy, right? Little tweaks that it's hard to sort of just define, because I just said that don't ultimately change the way you trade, right? And I was about to say the exact same thing. But what I'm trying to get at is, okay, take this for an example. You want to find a change, right? If, for example, we're talking about entries, you want to find a change that is not going to completely, again, alter the way you trade. So let's say, for example, you wait for a retest by here. Okay, you set your trade by there, you wait for the retest, and then boom, you go ahead and take the trade. Okay? If you now say to yourself, well, there's lots of times where I don't get the retest, so I'm going to simply just enter by here, it's probably not a big deal. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, if you were to say something along the lines of, okay, now I'm going to wait for, price to get into here. I wanted to see it break up, below by here, and then boom, I'm going to do that. That also is not really making a huge difference, but you want to just add to what you've got, okay? You don't want to be making very big, significant changes. However, if you have found, right, an entry technique that has been consistent with the time that you spent trading and has also meant that you've been able to get better results, then go ahead and go for it. Because you're ultimately not really changing the way that you trade. Your analysis is still the same, your approach is still the same, you just got a different entry now. So this is completely up to you to find out all of these things, okay? The whole purpose of this, guys, is to improve your results. So if you're going through all of this stuff and you find out that actually in 12 weeks, I haven't, nothing's improved, I just keep on going the same, then guess what, mate? Keep on going, right? But I've always found that there's always going to be something you can tweak. There's always going to be something, right? It's just a question of if you're going to be diligent enough to be able to, sort it out, okay? So once you've got all that review, you've got all that data and you've gone through your trades and you've seen that it works or not, fantastic. That's literally all you have to do. But so many people mess up step 1, step 2, and step 3. They mess up step 1 because they're not setting enough time to let their, to test their edge. They're also not, they're also making their changes too quickly, and then they're not reviewing. They don't have enough data to basically do, a whole great review. So that's how you adapt to market conditions, right? And that's how you improve a strategy over time. But the last thing I'm going to leave you guys with is this bit here, okay? Are there going to be times where you'll see old moves in the market after these changes have been made? even though, like, that you've seen these questions, you've done all this, and then next week, boom, your old strat would have provided you with results. Yes, that is going to happen, right? Are there going to be times where this new approach will have slow periods or will have consistent losses? Of course it will. But if you've been diligent with your data collection, honest about your review, and smart with your changes, it should be a no-brainer that it's going to improve the results. Okay, because if a change has been like, I'm not going to take reversals and I'm going to just be taking, trades with the trend, okay, you might miss a few wins here and there, but over time you're going to be okay. If it means putting your stop loss in a safer place, sure, maybe you don't get some of those aggressive wins, but you now know that this is a safer way to trade, right? And if you've done all this correctly and you've been diligent about it and very intentional, then you'll see the improvements in your results. I promise you, you will see them. You've just got to keep the faith. Don't get sucked into the short-term results. Have faith, trust yourself, and trust the process. And like I said, guys, if you are intentful and honest about this, you simply can't go wrong. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a like, send a little comment, give me a subscribe. Let me know what kind of videos you want me to post. If you feel I could be improving things a little bit differently, then go for it. If you guys found some criticisms, I'd be more than happy to take them on board and improve for your sake. But for now, I'm out. Take care, guys. Peace.